This is Angela Moss-Poole, and you're watching The Collab with Sherwin and Patrice on Indigo Inspire Live.
And welcome to a end of year edition of the Collab Show here on Facebook, Instagram, on Twitter. We are all over the place, even on LinkedIn. So we want to thank you guys so much for being here tonight with us. We've got a very special night tonight. And on YouTube, we are live as well. So we want to take this opportunity to say happy holidays to everybody and take a moment just to give you an opportunity to please share this live, because our special year-end guest, we are celebrating the one and only Courtney Wilson is with us tonight here, and it is a social media takeover tonight. So as we are coming in, we want to make sure you put in the comments where you are watching from. It's your first time joining the live, seeing the Collab Show. Just put it there in the chat and we will connect with you guys. But right now, I want to bring my co-host and my friend and brand ambassador, the one and only Sherwin Williams from Gospel Music Buzz.
What's happening, y'all? What's happening? Super excited about tonight's conversation. Again, it's been a full jam-packed year. So many different things have happened, so many ups, so many different in-betweens, downs, lessons learned and whatnot. But we're all here and we're super excited to be speaking with Brian, just getting into some of the things that he has coming up, as well as just sharing some things that we have in the pipeline as well too. So again, I'm excited to jump into this.
We're excited too, because we have so much to talk about with Brian. This has been a fantastic year for him this year. Recently winning a Dove Award and just being honored recently in his hometown. And it's just so much to discuss, particularly this weekend, next weekend, actually, on January the 6th. And so we are going to have much things to share, as well as what we have been doing with Indigo Inspire. We'll talk about that at the end of our interview with Brian. But right now, we want to make sure we bring the man of the hour into the room, the one and only Courtney Wilson.
Hello.
Listen.
How's everybody?
Listen, we are here. We are so grateful to have you here and to be able to share this new year, or the end of a year coming into a new year with you.
Thank you.
It's been an incredible year for you with the Transition Tour, which just went from place to place, and the album itself did so well and is so well received, and all the accolades, and your recent win at the Dove Awards was just incredible. So we just want to welcome you. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
And how are you feeling about everything that's been happening this past year?
I'm grateful, very grateful that every time we have an opportunity to share the music, because I know what goes into it. It takes a lot of resources. It certainly takes a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, not just my own, but of my teammates, my family, as they watch me agonize over what we're going to say and how we're going to say it, as we make disciplined choices about who we are and how we will present, not just in public but in private. It means a lot that type of work, those types of seeds are yielding a harvest that other people see as beneficial.
Yes, absolutely. you put a lot of work into transitions. You've been doing this for a long time. You're not new to just the artistry of being an artist. But what was it about transitions that was just so different for you that you think connected with those who are familiar with your sound, but also those who are new to you?
It was my second live record. The first one was Worth Fighting For. Um, and when Worth Fighting For happened, social media and video and those types of things, that wasn't as valuable as it is now. So we didn't really even record the video from that night, as special as the night was. So one of the things I'm really glad about is that we got some video of the
Mhm.
actual performance. Second was that it was very intimate. We didn't have a live audience. We were our own audience, the musicians and the singers, and I wanted that. I wanted to try to capture an intimate exchange between people who could have a musical conversation in that way. Um, and it was a very, very gratifying night, probably more so in the moment for the musicians and singers from what they tell me. Like, um, the music was great, but they also enjoyed the fellowship and the atmosphere that we set. And when they tell me that, I get really happy about that because every transition requires grace. And that's what I think they were experiencing was like, man, we wanted to be very gracious towards one another.
Mhm.
Um, Dana Saray led in that way, where he's very gracious, opens up his home as we plan what we're doing, opens up his family to us and friends to us as a resource. And it just filtered on down to that night where everything was recorded in one night in one room. Um, and I thought we captured a beautiful exchange. And so I love the record. I I love to listen to it. I listen to one song in particular every day, multiple times a day, and that's Every Blessing, just to remind me
Mm.
how to see blessings regardless of circumstance. Um, I think you need to know how to do that too if you're going to transition well, because you don't want to
Mhm.
mistake God's signpost for the world's stop sign, if you know what I mean. Like
Yeah.
sometimes God is leading us places that don't feel comfortable, and so we don't want to go. But that's where the real joy, the real peace, the real meaning of what we call this season Advent is all about. But you got to go through uncomfortable times to get there.
What would you have classified have been your sort of uncomfortable times together? Because it's very personal. And at one of the tour stops in Philadelphia in particular, got the chance to experience you and that intimate setting. And what I really just appreciated was you said it was personal. And there was one song in particular that really resonated with me, and it was Call My Name.
Hmm. So before I say
And
something about it, how did you hear it?
I heard it on a very personal level. I heard it on the sense of when we interact with people, and sometimes we can pass people by, and some people just feel like they're not being seen. But just the blessing of someone being just calling their name in prayer. You don't have to ask me a lot of questions. Just lift my name, and that is enough for my heart. Because when you lift my name to the one who can heal my heart, that's where the healing really begins. And so every time I hear that song, it really just is so fresh for me, and it opens the door for us to be compassionate with other people and be sensitive to other people.
That's it right there. And I'll tell you, it's the last song that was written for the record, and it was written about I would say about a week or so before we were going in to record. So Dana was fussing at me because it was like kind of adding to his plate, and we was, he's trying to nail down the plan. But I felt so strongly about it, and it was written in the other room in there, watching my wife go into the bathroom
Hmm.
and dealing with back surgeries, and she's had two fusion surgeries and back pain and chronic back pain for the last 2 years. Um, and she's had it in ways where we kind of just kept moving forward. She kept moving forward, but it was weighing on us as a family, the pain, and then dealing with that pain, and then sometimes trying to hide the pain because you don't want to throwing everything off track, so to speak.
Yeah.
It's almost like
Yeah.
you don't not deserve, or you can't afford to stop. And when you do that, and you don't really say how you're feeling, or you're saying it to people and you don't really hear that they hear you, that weighs on you even more. And in that moment, when I watched her, the song just kind of flowed out, like the story of her life over the last 10 years.
Mm.
And she was in tears. Like when I gave her the little raw demo, she was in tears. So I knew she heard it, because she doesn't really cry in songs like that. And I was in tears because I felt I was feeling the blessing of seeing it for the first time. Like really, really,
The
really
effect of the song. Yeah.
independent of how we even handle it. We just see it, And so um, that's what that song was about. And sometimes I'm reticent to tell that story now, because I like when other people can hear their story in it. That's why I was asking you what you heard, you know. And I really like when other people can hear their story in it. I was told there was a men's group that had added it to their prayer meeting
Mm-hmm.
in the morning, which it didn't even occur to me that would happen, that men would hear it that way. But that's the point. That's why this music is so beautiful to me. Many times it's born of our pain, and people take that piece of whatever we can get whatever we can forge beautifully out of it, and then it becomes something even bigger in the minds and the hearts and the ears of other people. So I'm glad you said something about that song, especially because it's about 15, what is it, 12 minutes on the record. We took our time with it. So, yeah. But that
You
was
know,
even the point. Like, hey, man, I want you to lean in and take your time with it. You take the time even to, if you got to have your name called out, take a beat, stop, and let us see you for real.
you, and mentioning the experience of just the concert itself, right? Because like I took my family there when we went through and we saw it. I know I saw you when we were just about to head out. We just happened to walk on that side and we saw you. You came by, you showed love as per always. And I think that's one of the things, and we'll get into everything else, but just publicly, that's one of the things that I want to just say to you is that it doesn't matter where you're at. I can see you at, it was the Stellars, it was at this Hollywood something, it was at that place. But once you see someone, you're not the type that, stay standoffish. You don't just stay in a corner surrounded by people that you can't reach to. You're always the one to show love, to give a dap, to say what's up, to engage, to, whatever the case is. And I think that goes such a long way. It humanizes the experience because the music is one thing. No one is going to debate the music, right? The music is going to be there. Everyone respects the music and they love the music. But once you get that humanistic approach that goes with the music and you can connect with the person as well as with the music, for me, that goes, beyond. And every single time I've had an encounter with you, it's always been a pleasing encounter when my wife and all of us was there. You came over, you said what's up to everyone. Like it was just that thing that I feel as though, for me, that goes a long way. So I just want to just kind of start by acknowledging that and saying thank you, because we don't always get that experience when you come into contact with someone, but you create that and you were very intentional about that. So I just wanted to kind of just start with that to say thank you on that note.
Thank you. I have to say something too. I got to ask you this. So
Mhm.
you're saying that that's not a common experience for you?
It's not always that common. No, definitely not always that common. Because a lot of times everyone is not that easily reachable, not easily to say, like a hi to or shake a hand in person. It's not always that common. You can see someone from a distance, barred off behind, but just to get that intimate, even if you show up at a concert or something, that's not always the case. But for me, I think that's one of the reasons that if you come through New York we're always going to show up and we're always going to be there wherever it
Okay.
is that you come through in New York. So that goes a long way for sure.
So at the risk of being a little, I don't know, I'm just gonna say it though. It is intentional. It hasn't always been though. Like I haven't always felt like that. I haven't always shown up in some of these spaces and felt like um, it even mattered if I spoke to people, right?
Mm,
Uh, and man, that's kind of what the other thing I kind of wanted to say with transitions. You know, I have on transitions lenses now. It's supposed to help me see in different situations from different angles. Man, everybody that shows up, I don't care whether they're on the stage, whether they're sweeping once we leave. Everybody is a child of God, and
yeah.
everybody has something to bring to the table, even if it's just a hello, even if it's
Hmm.
just, hey man, how you doing? Something, you know. And it took me a while to get to that space where I don't matter because of my talent. I don't matter because of my ranking on Billboard. I don't matter because of who knows me now that didn't know me before. I matter because God gave me life. That's why
Yeah.
I matter. I don't matter because of the clothes I have on or don't have on. I don't matter because of the brands I wear. I don't matter because of my proximity to money or power. I matter because the all powerful God made me, right? And then everybody I encounter matters in the same way. And so we have to be intentional, I think, about acknowledging that in each other and on each other.
Yeah.
If we are going to survive the seasons that are coming, where I like how you use that word humanistic, we live in a world where we try to dehumanize people to make it easier for us to ignore people and then cut them off from resources, refuse to call their name even though we hear their suffering and see it, or just turn the channel altogether. We have
Hmm.
to be intentional about acknowledging one another's humanity and then acknowledging how much of a miracle that is to be in the presence of it. And so,
Yeah.
yes, I do it with intention. And I think we all need to do it with intention.
And it's felt 100% as well, because even when we also when you were doing the tour with the Baylor's project with Gene and with and you were also back in New York around that time as well too. I mean, we circled the block. They had so many packed parking lots. We were going around, I kid you not, maybe for like a whole hour trying to get into a parking lot. And
I didn't know that.
the
I,
minute we got in and we got in there, you were now hitting the stage. And the minute we walked in, and I looked up my wife and I was like, see, we came the perfect time.
I,
So it's just little moments like that. That's why I wanted to start there. On Patrice, I know you were gonna say something. So before I ask my next question, I'll kick it back to you.
No, I just want to make sure, first of all, welcome everybody to the Collab Show Live. This is our year-end special edition with our incredible guest, the one and only Courtney Wilson is with us talking about just transitions not just in music, but also transitions in life and what has been happening within this past year. And my question is, with everything that's been happening, and you've seen so many blessings so far with this project, and I'm sure you've heard multiple stories about what a particular song means to me. I just shared one, I know that touches my heart. What is the feedback when people get to talk to you? I mean, what other songs kind of resonate with people as you engage with them?
I love that you asked that question. My goodness. Let me tell you why I love it. So even from that night, Sherry Shepherd and John Murray came that night, hung out with us um,
Yeah,
from the Sherry Show. And that turned into an opportunity to go and sing on their show, which turned into an opportunity for a man who I met this year to hear me singing on the show while he was dealing with um, mourning his mom, who he had just met as an adult because he was a foster child. He just met his mom. She passed away in the middle of his candidacy for a university president position. So he's in the running and he's considering pulling himself out the running. And he happens to turn on the show, and he hears me singing Still on Sherry's show at 4:30 in the morning, and it stops him in his tracks. It makes him go to dig in and find more of my music. He hears the song Waiting, and he said, "Man, I gotta meet this guy. I gotta have him come to my inauguration." And then he decides, "Okay, I'm going to give you an honorary doctorate on the strength of your career and on the strength of your music." So now, on the strength of that night, and Sherry's deciding to extend grace to me and have me come on the show, him turning on the TV, seeing that song, you're talking to an honorary doctor of humane letters from Livingstone College in North Carolina.
We better put some respect on his name.
And I was
but I have enough of it for myself. I mean,
Dr. Brian Wilson.
See,
I know who I am.
See, that's awesome. That's awesome, because I was even gonna, you see, part of it, and then we ended up starting in one direction. But I also wanted to just kind of ask, for you to do a, whether you want to call it a BCW year in review from your perspective, any highs, low. I know we've seen some of the highs, you've called out some of them, but what kind of resonated with you from a high perspective, and what also you might have seen, whether it's a low or it's a learning experience, however way you want to classify it.
I think that certainly was one of the highs. Meeting and talking to Vivian was a high. We're going to talk about her and the show is coming up
shortly.
And I'm not even going to reveal all of our conversation, but I'm looking forward to our Bergen Pack show. So that was certainly a high, talking to her. Winning that Dove Award.
Talk about that. Talk about that moment, because when we saw the nominations weighing through, that was a stacked category. I'm not gonna lie. I looked at the category and I was like, "That's a stacked category." So when the win come through, like, what was that like? Even the nomination and the whole process.
With Smokey Norfolk, while he was lamenting his shoes that were very nice, by the way, but they weren't comfortable. Just so you know, I won't put the brand out there. But, and we were wondering what happened. And we were having such a good time with the people that were escorting us. Shout out to the people at Lipscomb. They had volunteers there escorting us, and we were having such a good time, taking pictures with people in the back. Apparently, they had announced that the award had gone to me about 30 minutes before. In fact, I ran into one of our colleagues, Willie Mae McIver, and she was like, "Hey, didn't you win?" I said, "Nah, there's no way I could have won, because somebody would have texted me or called me." So, 20 minutes later, here comes Dana and Morgan. They're coming backstage. Dana's almost in tears. So I'm thinking something happened, right, to him. He's like, "Nah, man, we won." I was like, "For real? We won?" You know what I mean? I didn't know. And I was in such a good mood anyway, because I was there. And I was there again with intention. I was there to be fully present and make sure I see in ways that I haven't always seen in that space, to be honest, because it's the GMAs and because we don't always interact in that space, but I wanted to be more intentional about just being seen and seeing the people and getting to know people and talking to people. And so that was just like icing on the cake, winning in that moment. So that was certainly a high. If I had to point to a low, man, it would be what's going on in Israel and Palestine right now for me. Man, that we can't, and I can't help but see it as tied to the politics in our country. Our inability to lay aside the weight of dogma, lay aside the weight of vitriol, and the need to consolidate resource long enough to see where we might be able to find solutions together, independent of labels that we ascribe to one another. Labels that, quite frankly, because of the acrimonious nature of this season we have to just kind of protect ourselves. Like, yo, so you're that. So is that what this means about you? And we make these assumptions to protect ourselves. But I just don't think that's what Christ intended when he laid down his life for us on the cross. I'm pretty sure God thought his grace would be more than enough for us to open blinded eyes and see each other more clearly and see how we could be in community together. That's what I think. So that's a low to me, just every time I go back and think about it. And I could talk about more about that because it really had me in a little funk for about 2 years because we've been dealing with this. And then, the war happened and then another war happened. It's really easy to get bogged down in negative, and you got to be intentional about being positive. And I wasn't doing that. I was just kind of surveying the landscape and looking like, yo, it's not good,
But even with that though, and I think that's a good thing that you talked about. Like when there's so much that's happening around you there's the fact as a creative where you still have to clear your head and try to create and produce, but just as a father, as a husband, just kind of showing up and doing what you have to do on a day-to-day just for your family in the midst of all that. Like how were you able to kind of process and go through? Like would you say, was there therapy involved? Was there other stuff? Like how were you able to kind of find that balance to still show up in the best version of Brian possible, to do what you have to do for those that actually matters?
Great question. So you stay in community, right? Because I think sometimes you're hurting in places and ways and you don't even know. So you need people to show you where your blind spots are. And like I said, one of those things was I was really bogged down in some negativity. Not that what I was seeing was wrong, it's that the picture is bigger than what I was acknowledging. And part of why that picture is bigger, according to our faith, is that we walk by faith and not by sight. So we are able to call things that are not as though they were. Like we have that type of power. So what will you call that is not existing right now or that you're not seeing right now, as though it could be here? And how will you work towards that? And so having friends who love you long enough to stay in community with you, but then kind of nudge you without jarring you, because they know you can't see it, because if you saw it, you would stop. Or if you saw it and you recognized how damaging it was, you would stop. But they stay in community with you and help you see it. And then that helps me cope. Having people that love me unconditionally and will pull my coattail. Sometimes they'll yank it. Sometimes it's just a little gentle nudge, but they ride with you. And I think we all need that. That's why the fellowship is so important. That's why when sometimes I hear people say, man, that's why, they believe in what we believe, but then they see things come out about the church according to who is lauded as the representatives of the church. And they forget that as soon as you ascribe to what we believe, you are the church. You become the church. And so when you say, hey, man, I'm so sick of the church, you're talking about I'm sick of you. What will you call forth as though I'm not saying it right, it's flipping in my head. What will you do by faith to help us see the future that we should see, as opposed to calling out what we already know is wrong? How will you build for our future? What will you Indigo inspire?
One of the things that you said about, in the realm of faith, calling those things as if they were. I think we spend so much time calling it, but we don't put it to action. And that's where it dies. Because we're able to speak something, but until you actually put something forward, until you actually put yourself in the position of, hey, I want to be what Christ has called me to be, where he's placed me in the earth. I have this group of wonderful people with Indigo Inspire that we call brand ambassadors, and they represent various fields within the inspirational music industry. But the reason why they're ambassadors is because in those realms they have been placed to be representatives of Christ. And it's easy to say, or we can call those things if they were. But if I'm not operating, if you can say you're a singer all day, but if you're not actually singing, then you're just saying you're a singer.
Yeah.
And I think the thing that has really connected people with you is when you are ministering through music, and if I can use that term, ministering, through music and not entertaining people, they feel the heart of a man, because it's so, in our global community, there's such a need and a drought of real men of color who can really be in touch with their spiritual selves about the fact of their need of God, and really wanting to hear from him, really wanting to know, what is my purpose as a man, as a husband, as a father, as a believer, as someone in the community. And I find that if I were, even with the things I just said, you touched on those elements on this past project. So transitions itself is really, to me, the transitions of Brian Courtney Wilson. What you have learned about yourself in being a man of faith.
I received that. I appreciate, man, that's kind of you to say that, because it did feel like a touch point for me. Not to say I've learned it all. I got a lot more to learn. Which is why when, stuff like you get an honorary doctorate, or the mayor, like, hey, I want to name a day after you. I'm almost embarrassed, because I haven't aspired to that. And I don't even know that I don't even feel like I deserve it. It's more like, man, I've just been trying to do what I'm supposed to do when I could do it, And oh man, I appreciate you saying that. I just leave it at that.
One of the things that I had discussion, and you and Sharon were kind of talking about that, touching on that, in terms of just from our global political, we're seeing things all over the world. And there's such a drought of us realizing that we're souls that need to be saved. And we're so quick to use the ammunition of accusation to discount somebody else's walk. I don't care where it is. And I'm not even talking about anything specific. So I'm not cloaking anything. But we're so easily, and it's so disheartening for me as a believer, we discount people because of their mistakes.
Yeah.
But we forget that Christ came to a world filled with people who made mistakes all the time. And he has invited us, and here, what I classify is the invitation to be his hands and feet. So what you classify as undeserving is because you just simply said, I accept the invitation to represent you. So the accolades really aren't just you. The accolades are going back to him, because you don't take the credit. But what you can take the credit for was, I said yes to him.
They did put my name on that trophy.
So hold on here. So now you mentioned,
whole address to tell them where to send it.
Well, they don't have their address in heaven, but they do have their address as representative. How about that?
So Brian, you were just going through you were talking about even when you with the mayor, and December 29th, was it not 29th December, what was the date that is labeled the Brian Courtney Wilson Day?
It's December 29th, but
okay, 29th. Okay,
this again just speaks to how gracious Mayor Sylvester Turner has been over the last 8 years. My parents were in town and they were leaving.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask about. Yeah,
so he made room in his schedule to come and meet us at his office, take pictures with everything, which, I mean, I don't have words for it, man, just how kind that is. He could have just said, all right, well, we'll send it to you. But no, he wanted to make sure the frame in the picture with us as if it mattered.
But having your parents there, like, what was that? Just even having your parents share in that moment with you, just being there, like, what was that like for you?
I wish, I'm glad they were there, there are times I wish they were there more. They live in Mississippi and I'm in Houston, and so they can't always get to everything. While we've been on this journey, I've been so singularly focused sometimes that singularly focused and budget deficient that they couldn't get there, you know? And so to have them there and then the time just worked out, man, that's all grace, all grace. So it meant a lot to me. And I know it meant a lot to them because they were like grabbing like calendars and stuff like we want some souvenirs of the moment, you know? And I was like, yo, we're gonna take pictures. And they, you know, they didn't want to impose on the mayor, but he gave us a tour of the facility, everything, man. It was nice. It's blown me away. And I don't think any of us could have imagined that this is where these songs would lead. I know it.
That's man. And I want to read a quick comment here that I saw because I'm looking at the comments coming through on Instagram, and a comment here is coming from Yanette Odessa, aka my wife, and she says music has a spirit that's poured out in it, and that's what I love. That's what I love, Brian Courtney Wilson music. The spirit behind his music is pure and authentic. So it kind of goes back to a little bit of what we were talking about earlier on about everyone just feeling that spirit of authenticity behind your music. So I wanted to call out that comment there.
Thank you for saying that. Thank you.
So, Brian, as you are preparing for continuing on the ministry of transitions itself, you're going to have a great event coming up within the next couple of days.
Yes, January 6th.
Particularly, you're going to be at Ebenezer in Atlanta, the historic Ebenezer Baptist Church.
Oh yeah.
With
that's
Dr. Watch Night. And you were mentioning that earlier today on your live, and let's talk about, you know, when you get a call like that to go someplace that really has such a poignant spot in history. What is that like, and what are you anticipating?
Man, I'm just blown away. I hadn't been, you know, I've been a few times before, but I haven't been since Senator Warnock took office. And so for him to have taken office and then think, hey, well, we got to have Brian Courtney Wilson's music here tonight as we usher in the new year is such an honor. And then more than that, I look forward to hearing what he has to say, given the halls of power that he's been able to walk since he's been elected. I'm looking forward to hearing what he has to say about our liberation, about our freedom, about our ability to transition to the future that we want to see.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then on January the 6th.
Yeah, let's get into that. There's a lot happening on the 6th there with Chew Entertainment, with, you know, let's kind of break this down into parts, because this January 6th situation is going to be happening at the Bergen Pack, is going to be going down there. You know, when you get a call like that as well too, because again, you're going to be there with Bishop Hess, you're going to be there with Kathy Taylor, you know, you're going to be there just kind of, you know, honoring a legend in that community in and of itself, but just at the magnitude. It's not just, you know, something that is just being done and you're just coming in, but just all the planning, everything that's going into just making this into something that's special. And when you get that ping to say, hey, we would like you to be a part of this, you know, what does that moment mean for you to be able to be there and just to be there, to be able to honor him as well too?
Again, it's an honor. You know, Ray Chew is a legend, of course, a known legend, and Vivian Scott Chew is a legend behind the scenes. And she could have called anybody to do it. And so I'm just blown away that she called me, trust me to do it, trust me to add value in the moment. She did tell me that Worth Fighting For is one of her favorite songs too. But I have not had the chance to talk to her and hear the testimony behind why she wants to hear it. But I'm definitely getting my heart and mind as we plan for it in in the hopes that as I sing it, it helps to embody how she feels about it, just as to bless her back for trusting us with this opportunity to come. And you know, when we got the call, I forgot to mention this. You asked about a highlight. I got to mention that I went to the wedding of April Ryan and James Ewing. And that's when I got the call when I was getting ready to go up to sing for her wedding in Baltimore. And man, it was beautiful. Oh my God.
Wow.
And she let me sing Always Peace. So we're looking at Valerie Jarrett in one seat, Susan Rice in another suite, Governor-elect, I believe, from Baltimore, not from Maryland, Wes Moore is clapping hands in the front. And I'm singing this song about peace, and it worked. It worked. And just that she honored me enough with that, because she could have called anybody, and she called me and let me come sing for her. And we had a wonderful time with her family, her friends that were there. And that's all I could say. Like, while that was happening, Vivian was like, yeah, I need you to come sing at the Bergen Pack, for us. So I guess that's what we prayed for, but not really, because some of this stuff I couldn't have imagined.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think too, knowing the impact that Reverend Dr. Lester Taylor, the senior pastor there for Community Baptist Church in Inglewood, have had on that community, just in general, and everything else that he's been doing in the faith and so forth. For me, when I saw the level of intentionality and effort that is putting into just honoring him and all that he's done, I felt like that was necessary, but also it was great just to see that it's being done at such a high level. So I feel like a lot of times, no, go ahead.
I'll cut you off. Go ahead. You go ahead.
No. I was going to say, a lot of times we've gone other places and we've seen it in the secular world. We've seen all these grand stuff that we've gone to, all these galas and other things we've seen. But, seeing it done right where it matters the most, I felt like, that was just great to see it done at that scale.
Ain't that something? That is, I love that you mentioned that. Like, we got to know how to celebrate our own and celebrate them well, and not wait for other people to tell us how to celebrate them, but we do it ourselves. Choose our own heroes. We got to know how to choose our own heroes. But
listen,
what I was going to say, I know I just said something. I know I did. So listen, I don't know Reverend Lester well, like I said, but since I've been a part of this, I've had people come up to me and tell me that they went to church, his church, and were blessed by his church. I think that's one of the best testimonies you can give.
Yeah.
I didn't have to look up your Wikipedia page to find out who you were. People heard your name, heard my name attached to it, and then they started running to tell the good news about your life and the fruit of your life. So that's one more reason why it's such a blessing to be a part of this event at the Bergen Pack Center on January 6th. It's going to be a beautiful night. Myself, Kathy Taylor, who's my homegirl here in Houston from Windsor Village, and the legendary Still Kicking, doing his thing.
sold out.
You don't want to go up before him. Hezekiah Walker.
You don't want to go up before him.
No. I said it wrong. You don't want to go up after him. He got hits all night.
Hits after hits after hits. Hits after hits.
All night.
Listen, 30 years of service in the community, serving in ministry and in the community. We do know that what I know, Ray and Vivian Chu, when they are bestowing an honor on you, they give you the red carpet. So it's going to be an incredible, incredible night. And with that being said, to share in that special, special moment, Ignition PR is gifting 2 tickets for individuals to join Brian Courtney Wilson on. Listen, 2.
JoJo giving them away?
JoJo is giving.
Oh my goodness. I know things are transitioning.
On behalf of Ray and Vivian Chu, we are giving away tonight a pair of tickets to a special individuals tonight. And so we're going to let the honorary Dr. Brian Courtney Wilson look in his here chat to see who he's going to decide before he signs off tonight, who's going to win those tickets. And
Well, we
once he
need
makes
some
a
people
decision-
from New Jersey, though.
We need people that can make it. Don't just take the
We-
tickets if you out of state or you feel like you're gonna be tired and you don't want to show up. Like, this is someone that's excited to show up, to be there, to celebrate, to just to be a part of the moment.
Okay, so I'm going to ask someone to put in. I'm going to make this hard. I'm going to go for it. I need you to put in the hook for one of the songs from the Transitions project. I'm going to make this difficult. If you don't know the hook from one of the songs on the Transitions album, if you do, I'll tell you exactly how you'll be able to get those tickets if you're within the tri-state area of New Jersey, New York, even Connecticut, because it's not that far of a drive. But you have to put the hook in the comments. So if you're on Instagram, put the hook in there. If you're on Facebook, if you are on LinkedIn, put the hook in there. Carlos, you will not get in anything. So we want to give a shout out to Carlos Hale from Urban Soul Cafe, who has been watching along the way. But listen, I need to see that in there. And if you can put it in there, we would.
We may not be giving away these tickets tonight.
Listen, but some
we're not messing around.
Yes. So
tell me something. Impress me.
Listen, if you can go ahead and just put the hook, or even just one sentence of the chorus of one of the songs from the Transitions project, and you are really in the tri-state area to be able to experience an amazing night, a joyful celebration put on by the amazing Ray and Vivian Chu, starring the one and only, or seeing the only Brian Courtney Wilson, Bishop Hezekiah Walker, and Kathy Taylor on that night. We'll keep an eye on those comments, and I think JoJo is also looking there too to see who has it. So we are excited about that. So we'll turn it back over to my brother,
and we're not scared not to, well, we're not scared not to give these tickets away. We'll give them away later.
We are. We're gonna get them up.
Meet these requirements.
Now, I know we touched on a lot of stuff, so I know we're coming up close in time. We touched on a lot of stuff, but I want to also, get the people, a little bit of the inside scoop to Brian Courtney Wilson. And the first light question I want to throw at you is that if someone is looking back and they're seeing you on the Starbucks line, what is the drink of choice that if they see Brian, they know they can just go place that order and you can just pick it up once you get to the front? If you're a coffee drinker, or even if you're a tea drinker, what's your drink of choice?
Coffee. Black coffee.
Coffee.
That's it.
Just black coffee. That's it. Americano.
Yes. Yep. We're just trying to get through the day.
He said he doesn't want a chai tea with 2 pumps of vanilla. He's not about that. He's not about that life.
Discipline.
I want to give a shout out to those who are watching tonight. Chris Ayers is in the building. He is on here right now tonight. Okay, I see someone by the name of on YouTube. They're watching, and I'm going to put this up right here. It is Coco MCB. Teach me how to receive every blessing.
I know that. Sound like we got a winner.
Okay, so Coco MCB, looks like you may be the winner, and what you'll need to do in order to grab those tickets, congratulations. You'll need to go on Instagram. Hopefully you can get on Instagram and go to @Ignition PR and send a direct DM to JoJo on Instagram, and she'll tell you exactly how you can pick up those tickets. So yes, Chris Ayers, we do have a winner. Yes, we do. We have a winner.
We see a comment. We see a comment there from JoJo. It said to ask Brian about me getting him water in the Stanley Cup. I feel like there's a story there.
I
So
have
what's
no
the,
idea what JoJo's talking about. I don't know what she's talking about. I don't know. I don't know.
okay.
She's drunk with power right now. But she's giving away these tickets. I don't know what she's talking about.
Okay.
Absolutely. So
No,
here we
as
are.
we
So everybody, just to give a point of reference, I just want to let everybody know you were here on the Collab Show on Indigo Inspire Live with myself, Patrice DeLisser, Indigo Inspire, and the one and only, the king himself of now PR and all kinds of stuff on all social media, the one and only Sherwin Williams from Gospel Music Buzz. And we are here celebrating the man himself, the honorary Dr. Brian Courtney Wilson. I'm going to keep saying it because I think it's just the dopest thing.
It rolls off. It rolls off.
It does. It sounds good to me. You know.
Okay, now here's my question.
You need to think it every time you see me. You don't have to say it.
now here's a question. Does the missus now call you Dr. Brian Courtney Wilson, or did she say the trash still goes out tomorrow?
Well, I mean, trash got to go out regardless, you know. No, she hasn't called me. I haven't required it, you know. I actually don't think you're officially supposed to call people that. No. I'm not supposed to call myself that, but you can call me that. But you know, this is. Would you like to call me doctor one more time, Patrice, before we end tonight?
I will. I'll wait till we get up to close. I'm not going to do it right now. I'm going to save it to the end.
Why not just say it now and then say it again?
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure, my honor to present to you the one and only Dr. Brian Courtney Wilson.
There it is.
There we go. There we go.
It is. And now you practice. Then you'll be able to say it again later if you want to. You know what I'm saying? Just roll off the tongue again.
No. One thing I have to ask before we go is that with the transition of the closing out of 1 year, going into the new year, what would you say, how about, I guess what word would you have there for folks to kind of prepare for the new year? Because a lot of times, some folks may make resolutions are broken. There's this mindset that I have to do this, come this time frame, all these different things that get loaded up into going into this new year. But how are you planning on approaching it? Or even more so, what word do you have for someone that, to prepare to enter into the new year?
I hear the word ownership. And then I hear it closely tied to the word responsibility. And I don't just mean like, physical things. Although every time you own something, it comes with the responsibility to maintain it, to pay for it, but also your spiritual formation and your ability to think about God, to share God, to know God and see God. We're going to have to own that. And we're going to have to take responsibility for that in 2024. Come in concert with one another and with, the leaders of our faith who've been disciplining themselves to give us information that helps us do it. I want to say I keep hearing ownership. We got to start owning that for ourselves, along with what we've been enjoying down through the years. Ownership and responsibility.
I like that. That's it. Ownership and responsibility.
I do too. Absolutely. And I'm seeing Coco, I'm so sorry. I didn't know you're not in the tri-state area. So those tickets are up for grabs again. So if you are within the tri-state area, within that Jersey, North Jersey, New York area, even Connecticut area, even from Philly, because we will be there in the building.
I was gonna say even Philly, because we got some honorary tri-state people. I see Marie in the comments, and you're always seeing Marie and Lamont is always in Brooklyn and New York. So I call them the honorary tri-state folks, even though they're in Philly.
Did somebody say the word honorary? Did somebody?
They said honorary.
I don't know if I mentioned it.
I don't think you did. Go ahead. Let us know.
I am an honorary doctor. I can't
listen.
but others
Listen.
can.
Okay, so and others can say it because he can't say it. The honorary Dr. Brian Courtney Wilson. We can do this.
The
honorary
honorary
just call me doctor. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I feel you.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So okay, so we understand. We're looking at the comments here on Instagram, and thank you everybody here for tuning in on Instagram as well. I'm looking here, as we said, Meet Marie Brown is in the building. We see, of course, Carlos from Urban Soul Cafe is in the building.
What's up, man?
Okay, Los, get out of here. Listen, sir, he's our honorary mascot. You didn't know that?
Ayers was in here too. Chris Ayers.
Chris is in here. Yeah, he's watching. He's
up,
watching.
Man?
Yes, he is in the building as well, as he is also here as well. So, Brian, I'm going to put this out there for you.
Andrew from Chi-Town is here. Jacqueline.
Yes.
Here.
Yes.
What's up from the ATL?
Alex Todd, what up,
Alex? Ebenezer, if you're in the ATL on Sunday.
Yes.
See what else we got
yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, Brian, we're going to let you decide who's going to win these tickets. Now, apparently, I saw a comment Marie saying, and he's a baller too. I think she's really She's really trying to get these tickets.
Talk, I'm serious about this, because if we don't have anybody in the tri-state area that can use them, we should hold them and then really try to get them to somebody who can use them, right? For JoJo. JoJo, you agree with that? I don't want to put on. Yep, she said sure.
And, okay, sounds like a plan.
And bold caps, and we'll figure that out.
Okay. All right, sounds good.
Miss Sutton from Raleigh, North Carolina. We see Miss Hamilton. She didn't say where she was from, but she says she loves some Brian in the Blue Spiritual Hearts. So
yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Annie Malone from Athens, Alabama. We see you in the building. What a blessing it is to see you. What's Marvel Conversation? Is that y'all?
Okay, so we are looking. I'm looking at the comments just to see. We have. All right, we have Samantha Hamilton from Kansas City. He just popped in. She is now joining.
What's up?
Is here in the building.
And see Jason Hendrickson. He said something powerful just happened. That's what's up.
Awesome. So, Brian, are you someone that does resolutions, New Year resolutions? And if so, what would your resolution be for 2024?
You know, I was thinking about that today, actually, now that you mention it. Because, you know, people say you shouldn't do that because I don't know why they say you shouldn't do that. But I guess I have resolved to do some things. I've resolved not to compare my results or who I am with other people. They're doing. I've resolved that it's worth, if something is worth doing, it's worth getting started on, even if you have to start small. In fact, you shouldn't discount a fractal beginning. I've resolved to do that. I've resolved to really take care of my body better. I had already started doing that, but I wanted to talk about it earlier. Like, man, every part of our body matters. And my goodness, every part of our body matters. And sometimes your back is hurting because of something that's going on with your ankle. And so you got to account for your ankle. You got to account for, and your ankle's hurting because there's something going on with your foot and your toes. And I know I make no apologies for it. We have to account for every part of our body. God said the same thing. Every part of the body matters. And you shouldn't put the nose over the ear because the nose can't be the ear and vice versa. And so we got to start seeing each other like that. Like, man, every part of this body matters. And the wise person figures out how. How are we connected?
Listen, ask your baby toe when you hit it across the bed.
Wait, say it again.
Right.
Oh, yeah, you just said it. That's it. Yeah. You don't cut off the toe, though. Man,
that's really
you know what?
We're almost
at the place of needing a Cash App offering with you tonight. This has been a blessing.
We're gonna have to jot all these down. We're gonna have to jot all these.
In the chat, Stacy Wilson, she just joined the chat.
Stacey
Mrs.
Wilson,
Wilson,
salute.
thank you so much. Thank
I
you
want to
so
say
much
that's
for
because
being
she's
here.
like, dinner's ready. It's subtle.
Well, we're at the top. We're at the top of the hour already. So dinner is probably 4 minutes late because we've kept him. So we can go ahead and kick it back to you, Patrice.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So everybody, listen. Tonight has been a great conversation with Brian, Courtney tonight, and just the insights. And we're just so grateful for JoJo Ignition PR for giving us a call and making us get out of our bed right before the New Year's to come and do this. And JoJo, we love you.
Because this is the hangover week, right?
You know, yeah, this is
like
exactly all the travel back there.
And we are so thankful to be able to share this part of the year with you. We were with you in the beginning, you know, before the tour began, and to be able to close out the year with you, we find it an honor.
I feel that full circle. Ain't that something?
That's right. That's right. That is true for sure. So yeah, thank you.
We find it an honor. And continue.
I was Brian Courtney Wilson at the top of the year. Now I'm
now you are
Brian
Courtney Wilson.
What are you doing?
Won't he do it?
Won't he do it? Didn't he do it?
Didn't he do it? It's already done.
Shout out to Dr. Davis there.
You're performing before governors, and next thing you know, you'll be at the White House, my dude. Next time it will be at the White House.
You know what? I can't wait. I see that in my future for sure. I do. I can't wait.
And when you get that call, please call us because we'd like to be able at least be outside the gate to watch you go in. That's all we can get. As close as we can get.
Okay, we're gonna remember that.
All right. So everyone's started putting the comments. Dr. Wilson, come on, yes, Dr. Wilson. I mean, it's coming through.
It's not hard.
It started to slip all the time. You know, JoJo's saying, yes, Dr. Wilson. Awesome. Awesome. Mita has joined us on Instagram. Mita, what is up, beautiful? Happy New Year to you. Abundant blessings to you. I mean, people they just love you. They just love you. Nicole Brown, she's got 3 fiery hearts for you.
What's going on, Nicole? How you doing?
I
know you can't hear your answer, but I'm sure you're doing well.
That's awesome.
Thank you for tuning in.
Yes, that is awesome. So, Brian, I'm going to actually, before I do my final closeout, for you to just give some words of encouragement as people are transitioning from 2023 into 2024.
You know, I'm gonna, man, it's the song. Teach me how to receive every blessing, every blessing. Teach me how to receive every blessing, every blessing. Give us the courage to carry on, loving like you would till you call us home. Oh, for grace to believe that we will receive every blessing. So if you receive that tonight, if you believe that's a worthy prayer for your life, wherever the Lord leads you, wherever faith moves you forward towards, put these hands in the chat, and they will be encouraging ourselves tonight with the word. Put these hands in the chat as if you could receive it. Every blessing. And that's what I'm going to end with right there. Jacqueline says she received it. I see her.
Yeah.
Cheryl says she received it.
That's it.
I see it. Everything is working together. Everything is working together, blessing me. Everything is working together. Searching my heart so that I can receive every blessing. If you need your heart searched, just keep your hands up like that. You can put it in there again if you want to. If you need your heart searched, then you're not going to accept any any condemnation for mistakes you might have made, for the times you may have missed a blessing along the way. You keep your hands up. I believe God will bless you with that too. Connect you with what you need to keep moving forward. Everything is working together. Everything is working together, blessing me. Everything is working together, searching my heart so that I can receive. When you call my name, call my name, call my name to heaven. Call my name, call my name, call my name to heaven. Call my name, call my name, call my name to heaven. I don't know who needs their name called, but I see it. You might see a name in the chat. Just type the name you see in the chat. Just type it in the comments. You don't need to know all their business either for that name to matter when you call it, for that name to matter to God. You can't fix it by yourself anyway. We need to be in community to get it fixed. So you don't need to know it all. Just call the name.
You know, Brian, we're locked into a mood here, and I know there's an atmosphere change that took place even on this platform.
What happened?
But based off of just what you said, if there's a name, I'm seeing names go in there. If there's a name that you want to have prayed for, we're going to ask Brian if he would just lift a prayer up for the names that come into the comments right now.
Okay.
So please put the names, even if it's to yourself, please put your name in the comments. If you're on IG, put the name of someone that you know needs encouragement. And we're going, there you go. I see Nicole Brown saying Laverne. Cheryl Sutton is saying Joy Jones. Come on, IG. I want to see some names in here too. Put the names in. Pamela Mullet. I see the names coming through. Brian, you can see the names coming through as well. And as the names are coming through, we're going to ask Brian if he would just pray for those names as they are coming through. Even if you can't call them all out, but the names are there, and God makes a record of every one of those names that are being put in the comments right now.
May our God bless us with grace, mercy, and peace. And may we always find more room around God's feet, where there is complete rest from the cares of this world. For every woman, man, boy, and girl, I pray we are blessed with God's grace, mercy, and peace. 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 I receive it. I receive it. And I believe I can see it on you too. I receive it. I receive it. And I believe I can see it on you too. May our God watch over us while we are absent, one from another, keeping connection by the resurrection. Power God paid for us all to receive. Rest from the cares of this world. If this is a worthy prayer, will you just type rest in the chat? If you need rest, if you could be an ambassador of rest for your neighbor, a light that helps them see that we can be anxious for nothing in this fellowship. Rest from the cares of this world. If you're ready to lay aside every weight, we're praying right now. Lord, help us out. Show us how to lay aside our weight, the burdens that we've been carrying. Rest from the cares of this world. That heavy load will not serve you. On this narrow way, you ought to rest. 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 Every woman, man, boy, and girl, I pray we are blessed with God's grace, mercy, and peace. 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 Amen. I can't hear you, Miss Patrice.
Amen.
I was worshiping. I'm sorry, I was saying amen. I wanted to also take an opportunity to, for those of you who have not heard, our dear friend Roger Jemison, wife passed away this last night. And so we're asking for rest and comfort at this time.
Yeah.
In the past 5 years, he has lost his mother, his father, his grandson, and now he lost his wife last night. So please, we're asking the faith community, please remember Roger Jemison and Latricia Jemison's son in your prayers. This was very unexpected, so we ask that you remember them in your prayers. So, Brian, thank you so much. We are looking forward to worshiping with you next January 6th, next Saturday night. I'm actually going to put in the comment again where you can
tickets.
The link to get your tickets. We want this place, because I know it's going to be packed out, to receive a blessing.
Yes, beautiful.
And so it's going to be a beautiful night. And we want to thank Ray and Vivian Chu for putting on an amazing production and curating true worshipers to come and help start the new year off right. I want to thank JoJo Prada from Ignition PR for her kindness and allowing us to be a part of celebrating what God is doing in Dr. Brian Courtney Wilson's life.
I know that's right.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right.
So you will see that in there, as well as JoJo. I think you have access to the link. Can you put that in the Instagram link too? And I'll make sure that's pinned as well. And so everyone, Brian, we want to thank you so much for being with us. We're looking forward to God's glory.
Blessings on Indigo Inspired. Blessings on you, Sherwin, man. Thank you for your
appreciate you, man.
Community. Thank
appreciate you.
Awesome. Okay, so we're going to let Brian go and get his dinner. His wife is in the comments.
Yes, now Brian dinner is 17 minutes cold now. He got to rewarm that dinner. He got to put that back in the oven.
Okay, so your wife is saying the link isn't working, so we'll try to make sure that link is up on the Facebook pages for everybody to get.
We'll post it.
Appreciate it. Yep, absolutely.
All right, have a good one.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take care.
All right, God bless you. Sir, what a night.
Yes.
All
across the board. So yes, appreciate everyone for love tonight. Salute Los, Chris Ayers. Thank you everyone for showing up tonight. Tonight was great. We enjoyed. You can always, again, when you talk to Brian, it's always uplifting. You're gonna come away feeling uplifted. There's gonna be jokes in between. There's gonna be all sorts of stuff in between, but you're gonna come away uplifted for sure. So definitely appreciate that.
Your camera went out, my brother. I don't know what happened, but your camera kind of went out.
Well, it came out. It went out right on the right time. So.
Okay, so I'll do the closeout. Everybody,
Yes.
thank you guys so much for being here on a special edition of the Collab Show, year end with the one and only Courtney Wilson, aka Dr. Wilson. Now, we are looking forward to that night of a joyful celebration in I think Emirates, New Jersey, with Bishop Hezekiah Walker. Kathy Taylor and the one and only Courtney Wilson will be ministering next week. So thank you guys so much. And Inglewood.
Taylor, Inglewood,
yes, Inglewood.
Taylor,
So we thank you guys so much, and we look forward to spending time with you. There, the link is in there. I'm going to pin that once again for those of you who are on Facebook. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm going to pin it right here on. Let me see. I've got to pin that here. So I'm going to try and pin it. I'll put it also in the comments on Instagram as well, so everybody will be able to get it. Thank you guys so much. No, Los, you cannot do your solo. So we thank you for being here on the Collab Show. On behalf of Sharon Williams from Gospel Music Buzz, I'm Patrice DeLisser, Indigo Inspire, and thank you for being here tonight with us. God bless you. God keep you. God abundantly bless you in 2024. And remember, it's not just a vibe here, baby. It's always a whole mood. Have a great night.
Have a great night, everyone. Thank you.